Hello everybody, my name is MAREK Galis. I am from Raptor Protection Slovakia. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this event. In my presentation, I will speak very briefly about the problems that we had in Slovakia and about the solutions that we applied in Slovakia, and especially about the 30 years of history of close cooperation with power energy companies in Slovakia. Our NGO, Raptor Protection Slovakia, is focusing on several aspects that are connected with this very important topic. So we are doing expert field monitorings, we are evaluating the efficiency of adopted measures, we are also evaluating the riskiness of new protective devices that are planned to be installed on power lines. We are also doing expert evaluation of several measures that were adopted in our territory, and we have also developed special methodology. So we are evaluating the riskiness of power lines, especially connected with the collision. In Slovakia, we have more than 35,000 kilometers of several types of power lines. We have medium, high, and extra high voltage power lines. We have 3 distribution system operators. They are separated according to geographical aspect. So they are operating in western, in middle, and eastern part of Slovakia. And we have one TSO, and this company operates on the whole territory of Slovakia. One of the most important project that we applied in our territory was the Life Energy project that was supported by the European Commission and also supported by the Ministry of Environment of Slovak Republic. Up to 2014, before the project, we focused mainly on problem of electrocution. It was connected especially with the medium voltage poles. But since 2014, we started to focus also more on the problems of collisions, because we identified that in some areas many bird species were killed after the collision with the medium and high and extra high voltage power lines. So we started to focus on this problem systematically. We checked more than 6,000 kilometers of 2020 and 100 kV lines in lowlands area in Slovakia that are the most dangerous for flying birds, because of the presence of many bird species susceptible to bird collision, but also because of the character of the lowland area, open flat area with many power lines. So we checked more than 64,000 poles. We have developed a special database with more than 130,000 pictures of poles and carcasses. We have collected many data about the technical parameters of power lines, and our field assistants spent several 100 hours within the carcasses survey and flight observation monitorings, and they walked more than 30,000 kilometers in the field in total. We have observed the mortality of more than 4,300 individuals of belonging to 84 bird species. Regarding the electrocution, it was the dominant mortality that we observed on this distribution power lines. 77% of all killed individuals belonged to or were killed due to electrocution, and it means 35 bird species. On the other side, 23% of all identified individuals were killed due to collision, and all these individuals were identified under 72 bird species. So even less bird species were killed due to collision, but less individuals, but more bird species were affected by this threat. Here you can see the pictures of the two species that were most affected by electrocution and collision. It's common buzzard and mute swan. Mute swan is a special bird species that is quite problematic, especially for distribution system operators in western part of Slovakia, because there are many sites, especially during the winter and spring months, where the huge flock, often up to 400 individuals, are presented. And in case that you have power line close to such areas that are used by swans as feeding area, especially fields with oilseed rapefield, oilseed rape, there you can expect many problems, especially from distribution system operators, and it's often connected with the problems of power outages. This design is quite problematic because the wires are at the same level, and such situation can happen very easily, especially in case of a huge flock of swans. And swans are also able to connect phase conductors together and make this power outage. In this western part of Slovakia, you can often identify huge flocks, often up to 400 individuals. Another problem is that there are also many terrain depressions that, if they are filled with the water, you can observe some small or bigger groups of swans, and if they are located close to the power lines, you can expect that also there will be some repeated collisions and sometimes often also the power outages. So it's quite problematic, especially in case of swans, to detect which parts or which lines are really dangerous, because the situation with the oilseed rape fields change almost every 2-3 years. So often it's necessary to adopt new measures in different areas almost every 2-3 years. Collision of swans are also connected with other types of power lines that we have in Slovakia. Here you can see a short video recording the collision with earth wire that is at the top position of 400 kV line, and at the same time these wires are much more thinner than more visible phase conductors. And when we observed a collision of swans on 400 kV line, it was mostly connected with the collision of earth wire. This is the most dangerous design of medium voltage pole that we have in Slovakia. It's 7 times much more dangerous, especially for raptors, in comparison to basic utility pole. As you can see, there are 3 expo jumper wires located above the main console, and this is very dangerous design, and also the power energy companies are giving priority to these poles, and they are using several devices how to decrease the mortality on this type. This is the basic utility pole that we have in Slovakia, and a very good comparison of two principles how to protect the birds from electrocution. On the left you can see the newest type that allowed the birds perch safely. So it's our not new findings, but it's the new priority for the power company to change the old types, these plastic combs that were installed in the past, and the main principle was to prevent the birds to land or the perch on their cross arm, but it was an effective solution because these poles often substitute the trees that are missing in the lowland areas. So we also observed the repeated mortality on many poles that were protected with these plastic combs. That's why we decided to use the new principle, not to block to perch on the cross arm, but to allow the birds perch safely. So that's why also the power companies decided to use this newest type, and they are replacing these old plastic combs with this new type that is much more safer. If it's not possible to adopt some measures, another option is to modify the support or the design of the support. Here you can see the example how the power company changed the position or the construction of switch disconnector, and on the right you can see very good example before and after the mitigation measures were implemented. It's a very dangerous pole construction with the upper position of expo jumper wire. On the right you can see Sacred Falcon sitting on completely safe design, because the expo jumper wire was replaced from the upper position to this hanging suspended position, and also the wire is now completely isolated. Regarding the markers, there are several options how to, or regarding the problems of collision, there are several options how to decrease the mortality of flying birds. The distribution system operators, they are using several types of markers and also installation methods. They are using the hot stick and installation from the ground, or some lines are now safer because they are using the bundled wires, or they are installing the diverters by using the tracks. Some of the lines are underground in Slovakia, and also the last technique that is being applied in Slovakia is the installation with drone. Here you can see an example how very quickly can be one firefly be installed on the earth wire of 100 kV line. I think it took less than 25 seconds, and by this technique, one drone operator and one navigator, they are able to install up to 250, sometimes 300 fireflies or similar markers per day. When we compare it to installation from the ground by using hot stick, it's up to 50 fireflies per day. So it's very good option how to increase the safety of power lines, especially on lines that are crossing some valleys or rivers. Regarding the 400 kV lines, there are also several types of markers that were installed in Slovakia. We have two types. Most markers that were installed in Slovakia on earth wire of 400 kV lines, it's Firefly and black and white lamellas from Riber company, and also for 70 kilometers will be installed within the Danube Free Sky project that we are currently implementing in Slovakia, and up today we have more than 120 kilometers that are marked in Slovakia. We also close cooperate with the Ministry of Environment of Slovak Republic and also with the State Nature Conservancy by preparing of several expert guidelines about the protection of birds on above ground power lines in Slovakia. We also cooperate with them during the process of evaluation of the safety or effectiveness of several protective devices and markers. And there is also a law that is about the protection of birds on power lines. Everybody who builds or reconstructs power lines has to apply efficient protective measures to prevent birds from being killed, or if the mortality was observed or identified on power lines, the relevant system distribution or transmission system operator needs to take a measure to prevent such negative tracks and impacts of power lines on bird species that we have in Slovakia. Here you can see some best practices that we would like to share with you. Regarding the electrocution, we are applying several best practices, focusing on the prevention, especially of young individuals of sacred falcon and imperial eagle. So we are focusing on power lines that are in vicinity of the nest or nest boxes of bird species that are affected by the electrocution. We are using also the transmitters, so they are helping us to detect the sites where the birds are attractive, or the sites that are attractive for birds and raptors. We are also doing several and regular visits with the representatives of energy companies in the field. So we are also doing fly observation monitorings, so it's important to evaluate the efficiency of, for example, these markers, not only based on the comparison of number of carcasses before and after, but it's also important to be there to monitor the behavior of birds and to record the, for example, zones in which the birds reacted to market power lines and so on, because many important inputs can increase or decrease the efficiency of measures on power lines. And we are also sharing all these latest findings and data that we have with relevant stakeholders and producers and authorities and ministries and so on. Another option that another best practice that we applied in Slovakia, we have developed a special methodology that help us to identify which spans of power lines are really dangerous for flying birds. So because not all spans are in the same category of riskiness for flying birds, that's why it's important to detect really which parts are really dangerous, and then focus on these sections and adopt some measures to prevent the collisions of birds. Currently, we are coordinating the Live Danube Free Sky project. Is an international project focusing on the prevention of collisions and electrocution on power lines along the Danube River. We have 15 partners from 7 countries on board, and we are focusing and using several best practices and methods how to decrease the mortality on several types of power lines. They are locating in vicinity of Danube River. All this data and latest findings, also from the Live Danube Free Sky projects, are presented in this Facebook group, Birds and Power Lines. Some of them also you can find on my LinkedIn account, and all the data and results of our project will be published in special volume of Raptor Journal next year. And next year we also plan to hold a special international conference. So you are all invited to be a part of it. There will be 3 days full of expert presentations and also displays of several state-of-art technologies and devices. And during the last day, there will be a field visit and connected with the live demonstration of works on medium voltage and high voltage power lines. For latest updates, please follow the webpage of our conference, and we are really looking forward to see you there, and hopefully we will meet some of you next year in Bratislava. That's all from my side, and thank you very much for your attention.